Hello, Miss Tasha.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well. I'm so sorry. I'm on an assignment. So I kind of have to coordinate with my client. I'm still here though.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Jasmine, how's this sound? Because I got the phone right here. How is the sound?
I can actually drive to a nearby gas station because it's kind of in a rural area. There's a gas station about 2 minutes up the road.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're coming through clear on the phone. I just wanted to make sure that they were able to capture your sound.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, great. All right. So, Tiffany Lee, you are the baby mama to Faizon Love. He was locked up last week. His team did reach out to me to clarify, I guess, his side of the story regarding, the child support dispute in which he was locked up for, which was non-payment or late payment of child support. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So he was locked out. I know he's since bonded out, if I'm not mistaken. You guys both appeared in court. I'm not sure as to what happened when it came to all of that, but I just kind of want to start from the beginning before we get into him being arrested and him getting behind on child support. And this is your side of the story. Of course, he denies it all. We've spoken to him personally, and he says, he provided us with some documentation to show like his statement of payments or whatnot. And we're not saying that we believe him. We're just saying that this is his side of the story. So as far as for you, when did you two meet? Like, how old is the baby?
Her name is Amor, and she is 7 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this has been a minute.
That's correct. Yes, it's been a while.
Okay. Where'd you guys meet at?
Actually, a friend of mine invited me to go to one of his comedy shows. He was performing in Tampa, and that was back in 2017. She just asked me to come along, and I ended up going to one of his shows. And at the end of the show, when it was wrapping up, he actually, when my friend and I were heading out, he had one of his security guards come out and get me. I was almost already outside. And then one of the security guards came and got me and said, "Hey, Mr. Love would like to see you." And I was like, what for? And then he said, well, he just wants to talk to you. And initially I didn't want to go because I was a little scared and nervous. And my friend was like, "Go, I'll go with you. I'll go with you." So I ended up going up to, upstairs where I guess all of the comedians go after they get done performing.
Okay, and so was this, so when you met him, were you initially attracted to him when you saw him?
No, actually, I was not.
Okay. Why weren't you attracted to him when you first saw him?
Physical appearance, I would say.
Okay. He's just not your type. Is he too big?
Yes.
Okay.
He was at the time.
Okay. He's still big now. I think he's bigger, per se.
I think he might be a little bigger than he was.
Okay. So what happened when you met him? Like, did he make you laugh? Were you able to see past the weight?
Yes, actually. And when I initially met Faizon, he had a really great personality. He was really nice. He was very respectful, and he definitely made me laugh. He was funny. When he took me out on a date, he was definitely keeping me laughing the entire time. So as I matured, I just kind of came like sexual to where I started to focus more on personality and character. At the time, that's what kind of made me overlook like the physical.
So how long did it take you to before you moved on from from the initial meet to dating to sleeping with him? Like, how long did it take before it became sexual?
It was about a year later because the comedy show was in 2017 when we met, and then it was 2018 when I flew out to Georgia, when he flew me out to Georgia.
Okay, so you guys had maintained like an online or just by phone relationship?
Well, it wasn't quite a relationship. We were just chatting. You know, he came down and he wanted me to fly out to Ohio because at the time he was on probation for some case that he has. I think it might have been like the assault case at the airport. So he was on probation and he's going to come to Florida and he wanted me to fly out to Ohio. But I was a little hesitant at first, but then I ended up going when he was in Georgia.
Okay, great. So when you went to Georgia, you went to Pound Town, I take it.
Pardon?
When you was in Georgia, when you met him in Georgia, I guess that was the first time you guys were intimate. So I just said, I was using like Ebonics, like y'all went to Pound Town.
Oh yeah.
Pound Town. Yes. Just love Pound Town.
Yeah, that's when it happened. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, and so were you guys officially in a relationship at this point, or was this just a one-time thing?
Well, we were not in a relationship. He was definitely pursuing me heavy, and he actually wanted me to stay. But at the time that we met, he wasn't like, I didn't tell him that I had children. And then further down when we were communicating, he knew that I had children, and he told me that he would pay someone to watch my children while I came to see him in Georgia. So when I got there, he wanted me to stay. And I was actually just starting my job at Humana. And honestly, I forgot, rewind. So before, he wanted me to fly out. The reason why I could not fly out is because at the time, I didn't have my green card. So I couldn't travel. I couldn't get on any planes and everything. So I kind of didn't tell him at the time, but I was kind of coming up with every excuse. So in 2018, that's when I ended up getting my green card, and I was able to, get on flights and stuff like that.
Where are you?
I was able to get a driver's license and things like that.
Where are you from? Green card. What country are you from? You sound very American.
I've been here for quite a while. But I'm from Europe, Amsterdam.
Okay. So are your parents from Amsterdam as well too?
No, they are from Suriname.
Okay.
South America. Yeah, it's a Caribbean country.
Okay. And so you were here illegally for a little while, or were you born here and you just didn't have no papers?
No, I actually came down here as a young child to pursue my gymnastics career, which kind of flopped. That was my way.
Okay.
And then we kind of stayed. So yes, I was undocumented for a while, and then I had to go through a process to get, my green card and everything.
So you got that before the Trump administration shut that down, pretty much.
Pardon?
So you were able to extract that green card before the Trump administration entered the chat.
Yes.
Okay.
By the grace of God.
Okay. All right, great. Now, you spoke of having kids. How many kids do you have?
Currently, I have 5 children, but at the time when we met, I had 3.
Girl, you be going to Pound Town. 5 kids? How many different baby fathers?
For sure.
Yeah, how many different baby fathers? You don't even sound like a baby mama.
Really?
No.
I'm easy to get along with. I think my only combative, child father is Faizon. So, yeah.
How many fathers are there?
There's 4.
Damn. Okay.
I know. I have an explanation behind that. I wasn't relationship, long-term relationships. And kind of I guess it was mostly the men, except for the last one that I was with. Mostly the men were the one that wanted the child. And I mean, at the time, I was kind of, I guess I wasn't really thinking the whole process through fully.
So was you married to any of these men?
They were some long-term relationships.
Okay, were you married to any of these men?
Yes, I was married before to my children's father.
Okay.
We have 2 kids together.
Okay. So, all right. So that makes sense. That softens it a little bit. I was like, damn, girl, you outside, child. And you sound real corporate. Don't tell me what you one of them girls that like strip at night but go to school during the day and you're a nurse.
I'm sorry.
I said, don't tell me you one of them. Don't tell me one of them working girls at night that strip and stuff like that and got sugar daddies, and then during the day you go to work.
No, not at all.
Okay.
But I'm gonna honestly say the Lord has always provided for me. I've never had to put myself in any of those situations where I had to sleep with men or have a sugar daddy to provide for me, because God always gave me a way out. He's always blessed me with like a lot of skills, and I'm really good with my hands. Even when I was illegal and I was working at a hair store, I was doing lace fronts, eyebrows, eyelashes. So that's kind of how I was making my income at that particular time.
Okay, so you ain't never had to sell no pussy, nothing. Everything is legal.
No.
Okay.
No, I mean that's not even in my character.
Okay. Now back to fat, in Cat Williams' words, fat fuck Faizon, right? So back to him. So I gotta ask you. Now you were honest. You said that you weren't attracted to him initially. Then it was his personality, and you kind of fell for him.
Yeah.
That's a big guy. Like, how did it go in the bedroom? Did you have to do most of the work? Because you said you was really good with your hands. Like, how did that go? Did you have to climb on top of him? What? Like, tell me. I know he sleeps on his side because he can't sleep on his back, or like. Oh my God. Please, girl, you have to enlighten us.
To be honest, Miss Tasha, it was by far like the worst experience that I had in my life, and that's why it only happened one time. Because I could not bring myself to do it again, and this is why I don't understand how like prostitutes, how they do it, because I could not like forget that like whole scene.
Do you mind describing that scene? We would enlighten us, like we're down.
Smelly a little bit at a certain point. Yeah, it wasn't really pleasant.
What was smelly?
I obviously was on top because I know, like, people close to me who are aware of because I kind of stayed, like, dormant, and nobody really knew except for people close to me, because I was a little embarrassed, because I figured people would think like, oh my God, you probably were prostituting. Like, how could you do that? But I really did give him a chance because he was really nice and he was really respectful. So yeah,
So he was What do you mean he was smelly? Like, what was smelling?
Okay. I don't know. Okay. Well, to kind of describe like the scene, like I don't think he could reach certain places when he's like bathing. So I'm thinking that's where it initially came from. But he does smell like good outside of the bedroom because he has like cologne. So this cologne smells really strong. But then like in the bedroom, it was smelling. And then the next morning there was like this brown. He was sitting at the edge of the bed. And there was like this brown.
Brown what, girl? Brown what? What?
Sorry.
It's all good. Brown what? I'm going to hell. I know I am. I'm burning first.
Oh my God.
I know I'm going to hell. But I just had to ask, like, brown what?
Okay, but real question. Have you ever gotten ready for date night and realized you've been running around all day? Work, errands, life, and now you're supposed to feel fresh and confident? That's why I keep Umi in my purse. It's a pre-moistened essential oil-infused terry cloth towel that actually refreshes your skin, not just masks it. It wipes away sweat, leaves you feeling clean, and gives you that subtle, fresh scent without being overpowering. One quick reset in the car, and I'm good. Fresh, confident, and ready for whatever the night brings. Trust me, stay ready and keep Umi in your purse. Head over to tryumi.com and place your order today.
Latoya Odom.
Tasha K.
Are you Jamal Bryant, the preacher, the minister, the fornicator? Is he your baby daddy?
He is.
Is he a present father?
Never has been.
How did you meet Mr. Bryant?
He found me on MySpace. That's how old this is. He befriends me on MySpace, and then I start looking into all of his little profiles. Like, oh, he's married. He just asked me to be his massage therapist. So I'm trying to figure out the 2 and 2, like, what is going on? And he was like, well, I'm going through a divorce. He's like, I want to get a massage. Come to the hotel. I'll pay you whatever. And I'm going to church tonight. This is when it gets crazy. He said I seduced him.
You massaged?
Yeah, I massaged him.
Naked?
Next thing I know, clothes coming off. So we have sex.
Protected?
No. Louisiana people say, you know how you could tell there's alligators in the water? Go and test the water. Is it wet? The alligator's in the water. So you know I'm fertile. I just told you. So you came to the water wet, with no condom, no nothing.
He nutted in you.
I got pregnant on the first try.
There has been child support paid to you.
The last payment I received was $96. And John loves him. One day he told me, he said, Mommy, I love you and I love my daddy.
So he was helping at some point.
John really believes his dad. This is what he said at 2. He said, Mommy, I want to go see my daddy. So I dressed him up at 2. He was in Atlanta and I took him. Do you know Jamal never touched him? Just looked at him. They had a staring contest.
You mind if I talk to you, baby? Can you sit down? That's why I don't like kids on my platform.
Okay, because he had white sheets, right? He had white sheets.
Okay.
And he was sitting at the edge of the bed. And after his wife got knocked out, he was, naked. He slept naked. I put my clothes back on. But then when he got up in the morning, he sat on the edge of the bed for a little while, and he was on the phone. And then when he got up,
It was brown streaks from his ass?
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
So I asked him, I said, what's that on the bed? He said, oh, that's ASS. That's what he said.
He said that's ass? He literally
He said, the Lord is my witness. That's what he said to me. He said it's ASS. So he called one of the I guess he has people that like change his sheets and clean up and stuff like that. So he called someone and they changed his sheets for him, and I cooked breakfast and things like that, and we went to a comedy show after that. Yeah, and like I said, he was really nice. Like, he even had security walk me to the bathroom because he didn't want me to go to the bathroom by myself. And he was telling the security guard, walk her to the bathroom. And yeah, so that was that.
This is bad. So you only slept with him one time and got pregnant on the first try because there was no condom involved, I take it.
Right, and there's also more context to that particular scene.
Yes, please.
Yeah, with the protection part. So, when we first were starting, of course it was dark, the lights were off, and I asked him and I said, he was ready to like do it, like with no protection, no concern, and he was ready to do it. And I asked him, I said, hey, where's the condom? So he said, oh, okay, yeah. And so he got up, and then he actually had a desk near his bed at the time with his computer. And he went inside of the drawer, and he got back on the bed, laid on his back, and then he put it on. Or at the time, I thought that was a condom. So when I got on top, I felt it. And the ridge of the condom.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt that. And so that's when I got on top. But then when he finished, which was like, I'm going to say about 2 or 3, not even 3 minutes, he finished and I got up. And when I got up, it was very wet, like very wet down there. So I went to the restroom immediately, and, I started washing off, and there was of course, semen. And when I went back to the room, I turned the lights on, and I said, I thought you had on a condom. And he said, oh, yeah, I do. And so then I walked up to him, And he was still laying on the bed because he was like, exhausted or whatnot. And he was laying on the bed. And it was black. And so when I took it off of him, and it was like a ring. And so I asked him, I said, what is this? Like, where's the condom part? And he said, oh, it's a dick ring. That's what he said to me. And so at the time, I never knew I didn't know what a dick ring was. So I was like, what's a dick ring? And he said, oh, it's supposed to keep you hard longer, but apparently it didn't work. And then he started laughing. And I didn't think it was funny because I wasn't, honestly, at that moment, I wasn't thinking about pregnancy. My main concern was something that I couldn't get rid of. And he thought it was funny. He was laughing. And he was like, oh, calm down. He was like, well, I guess we're about to have a baby. And then I said, a baby, I said, Faizon, I don't think that's funny. We're like, well, why would you do that? You said you put on a condom and you're laughing like it's funny. And I said, you're talking about a baby. That's not like what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about, like, do you have HIV? Because in my mind, I'm thinking, a man of his caliber, he's just, I'm a regular person. I was just starting my regular job. Like, why would he put himself in a situation to have a kid by me? I'm thinking, like, people, celebrities, they initially think about, like, child support. So my main concern was, like, a disease. But yeah, and then he was like, oh, I'm just joking. I can't have kids. I'm sterile. I can't have kids. And so, but I believed him because he doesn't have any children. So pregnancy was like the last thing on my mind.
And then you found out you was pregnant.
Yes, I went back to Florida. I think it might have been like 2 days later because I was starting my new job at Humana. And like I said, he wanted me to stay. And I told him, I was like, well, I can't stay. I was like, I have kids. They're at my mom's right now. And he was like, oh, well, you and I said I was starting my new job. And then he started laughing and he was like, how much are they paying you? $10, per hour? He was like, I can give you money. You don't have to work. And then I said, well, Faizon, I have my license in Florida. I can't just leave Florida and, just leave Florida and I have kids there. I was like, you can come over and, I was just concerned about getting back home because, like I said, I wasn't too happy about what he had done, and I just wanted to get back home. But as soon as I got back home, I went to the doctor, and I went for HIV testing. Like I said, pregnancy was the last thing on my mind.
Okay. Now, when you got on top of him and you saw the dick ring, like, you didn't look at it, or was the lights off or something like that? Like, you didn't see he's a fairly big man, and he's round and shit. And so, dick hard, and he putting a condom on. You didn't see it as you sat on it? Because don't you got to take it and put it inside?
Well, yeah, I felt it. I felt the ring. I felt the ridge, but I thought it was like the ring of the condom because it was dark, like the lights were off. I
believe you because you got 5 kids, so I believe you didn't know. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the Lord is my witness. The Lord is my witness. I didn't know, but I felt it. So that's why and then he had to put it on too. But while he was putting it on, I'm thinking he's putting on a condom, and that's why I felt it to make sure that it was on there.
Okay. And you smelt his ass when you was on top of him?
In the process, I did, yeah. And it was very brief because I think it might have took like two minutes or so. So the whole encounter was very, very quick.
Okay. So you go home, and what happens when you get home? You say you did the HIV test, and how long after did you find out you was pregnant?
It was about 3.5 weeks.
Okay. And so you called him, and did you call him and tell him? Like, how'd you tell him that you was pregnant?
I did. I actually called him while I was at the hospital, because I went to the hospital. I wasn't feeling well, and I went to the hospital. And while I was at the hospital, when the doctor came in, right before they gave me my discharge papers, I called him, and I told him that I was pregnant. So his initial response was, pregnant? Oh, that's great news. And then he said, wow. And then he said, well, if it's a boy, can we name him Poncho? So I don't know, he was really acting really like comical about the whole situation, but I wasn't happy about it at the time because I already had 3 kids. I didn't plan on having any more at that particular time unless it was my husband. Unless it was going to be a person that I was going to be with, long term and have a family with. So yes, he was initially happy about it, and I don't know what changed. I don't know who he spoke with, who he had a conversation with, but he started denying her.
Okay. And did you guys eventually go for DNA testing? Because obviously, I mean, if he's in jail today, that's because there's been a confirmed DNA test. So did you do a DNA test after you had the baby?
Yes. And I actually offered Faizon because he told me that he had never had kids, and he gave me this long story how he was with his wife for I don't know how many years, and she's never gotten pregnant. He's had many sexual encounters with different women, and he's never had a child before. So that's what led him to believe that the baby wasn't his. So I told him, I said, I did some research, and I said, hey, there is such thing as invasive prenatal paternity testing. Let's get that done. So that way you can know that you're prior to her being born, and you could be part of the process, and you can be there for the birth to experience it. You don't have any children. So he kind of kept giving me the runaround. He kept saying that he was going to do it, and then he changed his mind, and he was like, oh, no, I'll do it when the baby gets here. So, I just kind of went through that pregnancy by myself. I had started my job at Humana, and I was, sick and throwing up, and I could barely get out of bed. And I asked him for actually rewind. When I first found out I was pregnant, I did ask him I told him I wanted to have an abortion. I had just started my job at Humana, and I was moving to a new apartment. So I had already spent all of my money on the U-Haul first month, last month, and I had also paid an additional rent. So I asked him for the abortion. I texted him. He texted me back, and he said, I'm not getting an abortion because it's against my religious beliefs. And I said, well, Faizon, you don't have to send me the money. Maybe you can just pay by phone at the abortion clinic. And then because I don't know if he felt like I was just going to take his money and that I wasn't really pregnant. So I gave him that option to call the abortion clinic, pay by card, and I can just make the appearance and have the abortion. So he told me he wasn't paid for it. It was against his religious belief. He'll take a DNA once the baby gets here.
Okay. And so how long after did the baby come did you guys do a DNA?
Pardon?
How long after the baby is here did you guys do a DNA?
I would say, I think it might have been a year after.
So did he help you financially? Did he help you financially during any of this up until she was 1?
No, because he didn't think that the baby was his. And what got me upset was because I sent him swabs. He gave me his address. He was living in Las Vegas at the time, and he gave me his address. And I told him, I said, hey, I'm working. I need assistance with daycare. If you don't want to send any money, you can pay the daycare directly. They allow you to pay over the phone. But I really need daycare because I still have to work. I went back to work after my 6 weeks were up. And he kept giving me the runaround. He ended up sending me his address. I sent him swabs. And I said, go ahead and get it tested. And once you have the results back, I'll be waiting on my apologies.
Okay, and so he finally sent in the swab, and obviously it came back positive. Did he immediately start paying? Because I looked at some child support payments. Then he provided child support payments from 2023, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on real quick. Let me pull them up. Hold on real quick. Pulling them up right now. Okay. So, one second. Give me 1 second. All right. Okay. All right. So, I have up the child support inquiry details, okay? And it says you, Tiffany Lee, file date 9/18/2023. And it looks like he's only currently behind for April and May. He made 2 payments in March. And from there, he made consistent from 2022 on payments all the way up until like 7/23. And then, of course, I guess he caught up and gave you $16,500 and another $5,000 payment. And then, of course, he hadn't had it made. I guess maybe you're counting, because if your last payment that you got was in 2023 for $16,500, you haven't gotten a payment. Your next payment wasn't until March 3rd, 2026. So he went 3 years without making a payment.
Well, she was born in 19, so I think the first one must have been at sometime in like 2022.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
It was in 2022, April 26, 2022 for $2,500. So it looks like you had a set child support payment amount, which is $2,538. Was that something that the state of Florida ordered?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And it's, I think they go off of like my income, his income, and then there's like this like calculation that they make. Though I didn't assess that amount. They actually ordered him to pay $5,500 per month.
Okay. So these were split payments.
I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure.
So you don't know where the other $2,500 went?
No. I don't know if they split it up. Like, that's how he made it. But I don't know, because he's behind, so I don't really know how it works, like how they process it. But he wasn't making like the payments that he was required to make, and that's how he ended up getting behind so much, because he's behind like $353,000 plus currently.
Damn, that's a lot of money. Now, he did send me text messages stating that, I guess, according to him, he feels like you're trying to make him pay child support for his one daughter plus your other 4 kids, is what he said. And so when he sent us the messages, let me pull them up here. He says that, this is what he said. He sent a message of you, and I guess this is from a text message from you. I know we're not on good terms, but I'm going to tell you what I want from you anyway, $5K a month for child support, or give me $40K up front for the year and bypass the $5K a month. That way you save an extra $20K a year. I was like, damn, that's a good deal. I have one more option, and I prefer this. 300,000 people move to Florida every year, and most are moving to Tampa. My cousin-in-law is a real estate agent, and he deals in real estate investments. He can find investment income properties for you, and you make me a 25% partner, and that way we can avoid child support altogether. And so he's saying that, and he says that's what you wanted. The problem is she has like 4 other kids, and you're trying to make him pay for all of them, is what he said.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. And honestly, I think that's silly, because that text message that you just read to me, it's like a business transaction. And this is not like a bargaining situation. It sounds like a business transaction. I didn't send him that. That in no way, shape, or form is that even my character to make a deal like that, like it's a business transaction. I asked of Faizon in the beginning was for him to pay for daycare, and he refused. And I actually have text messages where he told me, let's go to court. And I think he was bluffing, because I sent him the swabs. He never got the swabs tested. And I kept asking him, did you get it tested? Did you get it tested? Did you get it tested? And he never really gave me a direct answer. And so when I asked him about the daycare, he started cursing at me, and then he said BITCH, let's go to court. And I said, Faizon, I'm trying to avoid the court process. Why can't we just have an agreement? I'm not asking you to place money in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
If you are afraid of me mismanaging it, I'm just asking you to pay the daycare directly. That's all I wanted was a little help. And he said, BITCH, let's go to court. And I made sure that I screenshotted it. And I said to him, if that is what you want, that's what I will do. And I can send you the messages as well if you need.
Mm.
And he was bluffing because, mind you, Faizon doesn't have any kids. And I think in his mind, he really thought that he was sterile. So that's why he did what he did, because he thought he didn't have kids.
Okay. And he ran up on you, fertile myrtle. It's like you have a baby every year.
Every woman got that one wig. Stop forcing that one wig to fit every version of you. Picasso Wigs is changing the game with the 2-wig reality. Your hair should match your schedule. Their hand-selected 13x6 HD wig pairings give you the maximum functional value of 2 contrasting aesthetics. Now transition effortlessly from a sharp, low-maintenance daily cut to long, luxurious extensions for special events. Same woman, distinctly different vibes. Claim your masterpiece duo pack at PicassoWigs.com. Use my coupon code TK10 for 15% off before the sale ends. Everything is allegedly, even my name is allegedly. Yes, the Everything is Allegedly tour all-day experience is officially on sale, okay? Now, you know we just not showing up for a little show and then go home, okay? Y'all know we spilling wine all day. If you came to D.C., then you already know what it is. Now, the experiences kick off at 2 p.m. with different events, great conversation with winos, plenty of networking and mixing mingle opportunities, okay? We sipping together. Now, doors open at 5 p.m. Then it's time for me and my people to hit the stage, all right? I know y'all been waiting on this to be announced. I have too. I am super excited and I cannot wait to let y'all see what we got in store for y'all, all right? So come laugh, sip, gossip, and experience all of that with me on the Everything is Allegedly tour all-day experience. Tickets available right now on TashaKOnStage.com. That is TashaKOnStage.com. Man, that was a lot to remember. Damn. Y'all better bring y'all ass out for real. That was a lot to memorize. All right, I'm out. And if you're a TashaKLive.com member, you got to go to TashaKLive.com to get your discount code, okay? Because y'all VIP. Y'all know what it is. You are populating the earth, girl.
I'm pretty fertile, yes.
Okay.
So, and yeah, his hand was kind of forced with this DNA because he did not take the DNA test until he got those court-ordered documents in the mail. And that's when he knew that it was serious.
Okay.
That's when he took the DNA test, yes.
So when you had him locked up... Go ahead.
First he was saying that the baby was ugly. I sent him pictures of the baby. Excuse me. It was like, oh, she looks like a monkey. And then he started sending me...
Well, and look at the daddy. If that's the case, look at the fucking daddy. I'm not trying to say your baby ugly, but if he had the audacity to call your baby ugly, damn it, I'll be like, well, look at his fucking daddy. Shit.
Yes, I honestly thought it was disgusting because as an adult man, you shouldn't speak like that of no child, you know, regardless. And he was calling her ugly. He said she looks like a monkey.
Is you got a little dark skinned baby or something? Because I know you light skinned. The baby dark skinned?
She's dark skinned. She's dark. But when she was born, you know, all babies, they come out with, they don't have pigment when they come out.
Right.
And so when I FaceTimed him on the day that she was born, he started laughing. He was like, oh, that's a white man's baby. And then I said, well, Faizon, you know, she doesn't have her pigment yet. That's how it goes. And then later on, when I kept sending him pictures, that's when he said she looked like a monkey. And then he told me his mom told him that the baby was ugly. He was like, well, my mom said the baby's ugly and she doesn't look like the love. And so I thought that was pretty gross, coming from adults to say that about a child. So that's when I decided to take action, and then, you know, I just went to court. And I said, you know, I'm not going to deal with this ignorance. I would just let the courts handle it.
Okay. So, Now, of course, so when they picked him up this time, how did they get him? Did he get arrested on driving without a license or something like that? Because, they suspend your license in Florida for non-payment of child support. Was his license suspended? How did he get locked up this last time?
Oh, yeah. So we actually had a court date on the 21st of April. And he was held in criminal contempt because he was cussing the judge out. And so that's how he ended up getting that bench warrant. Yeah, he was saying cracker, white boy, just kind of being belligerent. And
damn.
she kept warning him, saying that he was going to hold him in contempt and muting him, and he kept unmuting himself. And then he was bragging about how we weren't going to find, the law enforcement wasn't going to find him because he was in California. And it's pretty much been a long battle with jurisdiction, so I'm thinking that he didn't think that they would make that arrest warrant out of state, but he ended up getting picked up on that as well.
So he was bonded out, but I did hear the lawyer state that he was homeless right now. Is that true? Did he say that to the judge?
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's not the first time either. He cursed out one of our other fraternity judges.
So you got a bitter baby mama pretty much.
Yeah, that's what he thinks. That's what he thinks it out to be, but I'm easy to do.
No. I'm saying you
respectful. He's the disrespectful one. He is the one that has lack of impulse control. He's the one that constantly makes the threats. He's always threatening to have me deported and saying that he's going to have ICE raid my home. And, he just paints me to be like this ghetto, ratchet, like I'm on Section 8, like he told me I had roaches, all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, I'm self-sufficient. Like I'm a homeowner. I have a two-story house. All of my kids have their own rooms. None of my kids share a room. So, and this is without Faizon. I purchased my home before Faizon did anything.
Has he spent time with the baby?
Yes, he has.
Okay.
I still let her go because, and I used to fly out to Vegas and bring the baby to see him. He used to fly me out. My oldest daughter went with me one time. So I did go back and forth. And then when she got a little older, I started letting her go on her own. So yeah, she does go over to his home during the summer since she's at school now.
Okay. So he's a good father as far as like having a relationship with his baby, just not a good baby daddy.
I would say yes, he is okay, I'm not taking away from what he does for her, but I don't think that I am too favorable of the structure that he has inside of his home because of the things that she brings back home.
Like what? What you talking about?
Well, Faizon tends to, when he and I are going through things, he kind of gets, the baby in the mix, and then he tells my daughter, "Oh, your mom is stupid." And one time he even stopped talking to his own daughter, and she was 6 at the time. Well, she's 5. She might have been 5 at the time. One time he stopped talking to her for almost a month, all because she defended me. And he felt that she should have stayed in a child's place. And I said, well, Faizon, if you want her to stay in a child's place, you have to keep her there. And you can't say certain things to her because he was cursing me out, calling me the B word. And then he told my daughter, your mom is, and she said, Daddy, why are you saying that? Stop saying that. Those are bad words because I don't curse. And neither do my children, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, Daddy, that's a bad word. And he got angry at her. He said, you need to stay in a child's place. And I said, well, you have to stop saying that in front of her. And his mother was on the phone, was on three-way. She didn't say anything. She didn't stop him. And she didn't say, hey, Faizon, restrain yourself. Have a little respect. And I even told him, I said, you're cursing in front of your mother. Why are you doing that? I don't like the structure in which he raises her, and he even told her to ask my kids where their fathers are at. He told her that my sister broke, and I heard him say it. That my kids are broke and she's rich, and I don't like that, because in my home every child is equal. My children are raised with respect. They don't curse. It's always yes ma'am, no ma'am. So he teaches her how to feel superior, and I don't like that.
Do you regret? I know you don't regret it. I know you don't regret your baby. Your baby here now. Do you regret having a baby with him? No.
I regret picking the father. Yes, I do, because to me the value is in character. The way that we raise her, like taking out the finances, the quality of the upbringing to me is very important, and I don't ever want her to have a snobby attitude and treat people like they're beneath her. So I definitely do regret that, because when she goes there for the summer, she comes back with that back home, and I don't. That's not how things operated in my household. You have to respect us all, and she allows her to speak a certain way to even the nannies, and I have to have a conversation with him and say, Faizon, she is a child. You have to teach her that when the nanny tells her to do something, she has to be respectful. Don't teach her that she could talk back and she's the boss and she's in control of firing the nannies and all kinds of stuff. I don't like that. I don't like when children disrespect us all. So I do have to break some of those bad habits when she comes back home.
Okay. Okay. Was there anything else you want to let us know? You were very thorough.
I guess the narrative that he throws out there about, that I was married and cheated on my husband, that was not the case at all.
Okay.
I was married at the time when I conceived Amor, but I was legally married. I was no longer in that relationship. I just couldn't locate him. I was looking for him. I have to go through this whole long process. When both parties don't agree, you have to go through a long process, and then the judge finally ended up ordering the divorce. So that's what it was. It's not like I was married in a relationship and cheated on my husband and got pregnant. It was nothing. Yeah. I hadn't been with him for 3 years, but it's when I got pregnant.
Okay. All right. Well, some states, even if you're legally married, if you have a child while you're legally married, it can still, be deemed the father. Was he allowed to? Because sometimes I know in Georgia, if you have a baby and you're married, that baby is automatically deemed to your husband. It's automatically given to your husband, regardless if there was another party involved. So
that is correct. Yes, that is correct, and that's actually how it goes in Florida as well. So the baby was legally my children's father. Daughter, and I had to go through a process to get him established after the divorce. Pardon?
No, I'm listening to you.
Oh, yes, and Faizon actually, at one point, he actually told me to ask my husband, to help me pay for daycare because it's his child, even though he had already had, the DNA results proving that it was his daughter.
Well, listen, we're going to talk to him, and we're definitely going to hit him back with all the allegations that you have made against him and, put him, he's going to answer for this. So he asked if he could do an interview with us, and I said, yes. I said, I didn't tell him I was talking to you because I know how emotional he gets or whatnot. And so, but I will make sure when he gets, on this screen, I'm going to be like, did you leave shit streaks on the bed, bro, after you were done fucking her?
Oh my God, yes, he definitely did. And I mean, if he, because Faizon, he's not truthful. And so I know he's probably going to say a few things that are lies. I don't know if I'll have the opportunity to respond to that.
Yeah, of course. Call us back.
What did he say? Yeah. And he makes it seem like it was just a hit and quit it one night stand, but he's not disclosing the fact that he was very persistent, and he offered to buy me a house before, and he comes every time I went to take him my daughter. He would pursue me. He would ask me to give him a back massage.
Now, I know you ain't lying. I know you're not lying. I know you're not lying.
Yeah, he never stopped trying. He also, when I was
I'm just saying about the, I'm just saying,
he was, I'm not going to say he was a disturbance, but there were a lot of arguments that were caused by Faizon because he would send certain text messages, and then my kid's father, the one, who I was with at the time, he thought that Faizon and I had something going on because of the text messages that he was sending. And I even had to call Faizon, and I had to ask Faizon, like, please call him and just please tell him that we don't have anything going on. Just tell him that it was a mistake, that he meant to send it to someone else. And he actually did that. He called him and he was like, oh, I accidentally sent it to her. I meant to send it to someone else. So it's him. It's years and years of him pursuing and trying to have sex and telling me to come to the hotel. And, just like he makes it seem as if I was a nuisance to his life. But I think his issue with me was the fact that I was not willing to continue to deal with him on a level other than the baby.
Okay. Well, you're not lying about the back massages, because that's the one thing that we hear when the girls of the night call us about him. They say that he always solicits them and always asks for a back massage, and then the back massage turns into something more.
Yeah, and he doesn't mind giving oral sex either. Like when we went on our first date, he wanted to give me oral sex. He didn't even know me, and this was our first date.
Well, he looks like an eater.
Beach. Yeah, we actually went to the beach, and he was like, sit on my face. And I was like, I'm not going to do this in the car. Like, we're at the beach. Like, we're in a public place. And so we never had any sexual encounters then when he was in Florida, but he was very open, giving oral to me, and he didn't even know me.
This is disgusting. Listen, Tiffany Lee, do you want people to find you, follow you, or no?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Do you want to leave a social media handle so that people can find you, follow you, or no?
I mean, the cat is out of the bag now. Yeah, sure. It's FU_INGI.
Okay. All right, cool. Listen, I appreciate you, and we will allow you to respond when he does his interview, okay?
All right, awesome. And I'll make sure that I'll be stationary.
Okay. Thank you so much, Miss Lee.
Thank you, Miss Tasha.
Okay.
Pleasure meeting you.
You don't want your hair fall out, the skin to be bad and everything. Guys, you know our bodies are like plants. I don't like capsules. I don't take capsules. That's why I opt for liquid vitamins that I don't need a whole capsule, because they got them big bottles, them liquids is thick, and it's too much. These are drops. You don't have to take them with food. They absorb 97% of the vitamins and minerals that our body is made out of is in this bottle. This is extracted sea moss. It's the most potent, natural organic vitamins that you're going to get. Dr. Sabi, all the health gurus stood behind this. I love it. This is the sea moss skin. We also have the sea moss pineapple there, sea moss mango, sea moss detox drops as well, which has chlorophyll and dandelion and things like that for the skin, for the gut. All of these, this is one of our most popular products on the site. Use my coupon code TK10 to get 10% off your first order. Don't forget, guys, oil of oregano, I keep it with me. I'm traveling this weekend. I will be traveling with my oil of oregano, being that there's hantavirus, Ebola, everything else out there. This just makes me feel like I am cured. Okay, and so research behind this says oil of oregano is that bitch, okay? I haven't been sick. Don't plan on getting sick. And and so 100% raw oil of oregano extracted, okay? This is UK made. They extract their products with a higher care of love. They don't even allow preservatives and stuff over there in the UK unless it's like vitamin C or something like that. You know their health standards are good. That's why everybody's skinny over there, skinty, and they smoke and they still live a long life. What do you know? Okay, so here's the thing. So olive oregano, a lot of celebrities swear by this. I swear by this, okay? Try it. I'm telling you, 5 drops, not droppers, just 5 little drops in your water. Use my coupon code TK10 to get 10% off your first order. You can see videos of olive oregano being put on viruses and bacteria and eradicating them, okay? This was a top seller, too, during the COVID era as well, too. So, I can't say a cure. I'm not a doctor or anything like that. Ain't nobody for the Coach Stormy me. Not today. Not ever. I'm just telling you what it does for me and what the research says, but I can't say what it's going to do for you, but look at the reviews on shoptkdeals.com, okay? Don't forget, guys, if you are an aspiring author, okay, you wrote a book, we have a book club now on itstashak.com. If you want your book premiered here on the show so that we can, the winos can support, please hit us at itstashak.com/book-club to speak to one of my digital sales agents to discuss us promoting your book over here, okay? And that goes for all ads, okay? It's TashaK.com/advertise, or go to advertise to talk to one of our digital sales agents to think about, to get your brand promoted on the platform, okay? I love you guys. My headache is gone, huh? Who? Oh, guys, if you are a single man or know a single man that's over the age of 25, hell, over the age of 30, that just wants to talk about being single, why? We're not trying to hook nobody up. We're just trying to get in the minds of the man. Letting the men tell their story for once. Women always out here talking. We want to hear from the men. We need to hear from the men, okay? So we know how to better deal with men. Go to itstashak.com/casting, okay? Casting. Winos. I love y'all.